Good evening and welcome to today's video. I'm going to talk today about an article that I read earlier, which was shared by Charles Poliquin. It was an article on the New York Times. So if anybody wants to read that article, shoot me a message and I'll send the link to you. And it's basically an article that has got some evidence recently that the sugar industry actually paid scientists to play down the link between sugar and heart disease. Okay, it also goes on to say that the research, maybe the last 5 decades, and the research into the role of nutrition and sugar and fat on heart disease has actually been shaped by the sugar industry. Now, how did they do this? Well, there's documents that show that the sugar industry paid 3 Harvard scientists in 1967 the equivalent of $50,000 in today's money to produce a review on the role or the link between sugar, fat and heart disease, and to actually play down the role of sugar and actually almost cast the blame onto saturated fat. Okay? Now, because of the funding, the studies were handpicked by the Sugar Association, and they basically told the scientists that they wanted the results to favour sugar and to cast that blame onto saturated fat. Okay, now, how does that affect us today? Because that was 50 years ago. Can it really affect us today? Well, in this article, actually spoke about a review, sort of an investigation that happened last year, and they posted another article on the New York Times last year into Coca-Cola. Now, there was evidence, or it was reported, that Coca-Cola had provided millions of dollars, that's millions of dollars, into research that was playing down the link between sugary drinks and obesity. Now, why would they do this? Well, they only happen to be the world's largest producer of sugary drinks, okay? Now, this one sort of made me laugh. Sort of a laugh of astonishment, if anything, that it also reported that the Associated Press in June reported that candy makers were funding studies that claimed that children that ate candy actually weighed less than the children that don't eat candy. Okay, now, as you can imagine, you can sort of understand why I sort of chuckled with astonishment, because I actually couldn't believe that that would be true. But apparently it was. Now, the reason this more than anything still affects us now is obviously the scientists and the executives in the sugar industry are no longer alive today that were involved in this whole case. But one of the scientists actually went on to become the head of nutrition of the US Department of Agriculture. Now, one of his roles in this position was to draft up and propose the federal government guidelines on dietary recommendations. Now, a lot of people look to those recommendations for their healthy eating guidelines on what to eat. Now, what experts are saying nowadays is that these guidelines encourage the people to go on that low-fat, high-sugar craze over the last 40 years or so, and now they're actually blaming that on the current obesity epidemic that we're going through right now. They're saying that is the reason for fueling this obesity epidemic, because now we know, of course, that fat is not bad for us. Now, the food for thought as such from this video is, and it's not a good one, is, I wonder how many lives have been, affected or maybe even lost by following these guidelines, the obesity-related, deaths and, complications that people may have come across and been involved with because they followed these guidelines, just so the sugar industry can make more money. So it's not a nice one, but a scary one. So, as we said, sort of the problem still with this is it's not common knowledge. Recently experts have said that, fat's not bad for us. It is actually good for us. But that's not common knowledge. And I've had a lot of people come to me since I've been a personal trainer and, been researching into this type of thing. And, there are still a lot of people out there that believe fat is the enemy and it needs to be avoided at all costs. And they're right to think that, because if they haven't heard any different, why would they believe that that would be any different to what they last heard? Okay, so it's not common knowledge, but I'm here to tell you that fat is not the enemy. In fact, it is actually good for us, okay? And if weight loss and fat loss is your goal, it is absolutely essential that you put fat into your diet, okay? Now, obviously we're talking the right types of fat and the right amount of fat. Okay, now I'm not going to get into that now because I don't want to make this video too long. However, we'll be doing a video at the same time next week where I'll be talking about fat, you know, why we need it, why it's good for us, and the right quantities and types of fat that we need in our diets to make us healthier and make us look better. Okay? So hopefully you got some value from this. If you did, please feel free to like, comment and share. I hope you got some value, and I shall see you on the next video. Thank you.